Hey guys, welcome back. I want to read you an interesting email I received last week. It's from a guy called Paul. Dear Anthony, I hope this email finds you well. My wife and I absolutely love your Bendy Bar video and laugh every time we watch it. We were wondering if you could help us choose a decent laptop for our 15-year-old son that he can use for school, do some video editing, and also wants to start playing Fortnite on it. Of course. Our maximum budget is $1,500. Is this going to be possible? If not, we could look into getting a Samsung Galaxy Note 9 for the same price and use it as a computer connected to our monitor, but ultimately we would prefer a laptop. Yeah, the Note 9 can do that. We have looked at various reviews online, but most of them are from overseas and not available in Australia. That's so true. We've got nothing here. Can you recommend a laptop that is light enough to carry in a school bag but also powerful enough to edit videos and play Fortnite at 60 frames per second without having to sell my kidney? That's funny. LOL. Kind regards, Paul. Okay, Paul, I did a bit of snooping around for you. I went through a few retailers and some online shops, and the best I could come up with was the HP Pavilion 15 cs0099tx. This thing is light enough to fit in a school bag, it's powerful enough to do video editing, and it can sure play Fortnite at 60 frames per second. But before we go any further, let's hear a word from my sponsor. Of course I don't have a sponsor. Roll the intro. Powered by Intel's killer 8th generation Core i7 processor and a decent mid-range graphics chip by NVIDIA, the MX150, it won't be long before casual gamers can enjoy some decent titles at decent frame rates. Let's get the gamers' questions out of the way before they have a heart attack. Fortnite manages to peak at a maximum of 68 frames per second in 1080p resolution. Csgo maxes out at 100 frames per second since this game is more CPU intensive. Dota 2 is very smooth at 70 frames per second. Overwatch maxes out at 62 frames per second in 1080p resolution. Rocket League is enjoyable at 50 frames per second with the highest possible settings. PUBG kind of struggles a tiny bit, but it's still perfectly playable at 38 frames per second. GTA 5 plays perfectly fine at 68 frames per second. Assassin's Creed Origins struggled a bit, but still playable at 39 frames per second with 720p resolution. And Far Cry 5 also had a few little hiccups, but perfectly playable at 42 frames per second with 720p resolution. Speaking of screen resolutions, this panel runs at 1920 by 1080 pixels, so it's a full HD screen for a 15.6 inch laptop. And while we're at it, let's take a look at the rest of the specs. The quality of the webcam is nothing to write home about. It tops out at 0.9 megapixels but capable of recording 720p video. The footage is very blurry and I wouldn't recommend using this in a hurry for any streaming. The speakers are okay, let's have a listen. The built-in audio software also allows for some extra tweaking should you wish to do so for your sound. The overall chassis had me fooled into thinking that it was made from aluminium, but I later discovered that the entire body was simply made from plastic. That's okay though, because you wouldn't be able to tell unless you tapped on it with your finger. And the keyboard has absolutely no flex and it just gives you that sense of long-lasting quality. The same goes for the plastic on the lid. However, there is some slight flex on the lid, but not as bad as some other laptops I've seen in the past. Hello. Hi. Hello. The only thing that annoyed me a little was the buzzing sound from the fan. I mean, it's not a deal breaker in my opinion, but some may find it frustrating when using the laptop in a quiet environment. There is no easy accessible doors on the bottom of this laptop when it comes to upgrading options. However, you shouldn't really need to in a hurry because it already has an NVMe SSD drive and 16GB of DDR4 RAM. However, if you do need to, all you have to do is unscrew the 3 Phillips head screws at the front of this device, and there is hidden screws under the rubber feet of the laptop as shown here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, it's completely free and it helps me reach a wider audience looking to have a look at this laptop review. Thank you for watching, till next time.